Have you ever noticed that the more you own, the less peace you seem to have? We live in an age where everything screams more money, more clothes, more gadgets, more success. But in chasing it all, we have forgotten something essential: how to just be. Psychologist Erich Fromm once said, "If I am what I have and what I have is lost, then who am I?" When we base our worth on what we own, we stop being human beings. We become human havings. We are told that happiness lies at the end of the shopping cart. That fulfillment is one click away. And so, we scroll endlessly, buying things we do not need to fill spaces that money cannot touch, yet each purchase brings a smaller rush than the last. The brain's dopamine reward system adapts to pleasure quickly. What once felt exciting soon becomes normal, so we crave the next thing and the next and the next, like hamsters running in a wheel, mistaking movement for progress. The philosopher Epicurus said, "If you wish to be rich, do not add to your money but subtract from your desire." Happiness does not come from addition, it comes from subtraction, from removing what clutters the soul. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." He wrote that 2,000 years ago, and yet it feels written for us, the modern, anxious, overworked generation. We have built lives around the illusion that comfort equals happiness. But comfort without purpose becomes a cage, and consumerism is that cage, made of glittering bars. When you wake up and check your phone, scroll through images of people doing better, you are not consuming content. Content is consuming you. Every ad you see whispers, "You are not enough, not yet, not until you buy this." Psychologists call this the comparison trap, where your self-worth depends on how you measure up to others. Jean Baudrillard said that consumerism is not about buying things, it is about buying meanings. We do not buy a phone, we buy the feeling of connection. We do not buy clothes, we buy identity. We do not buy cars, we buy status. But the problem is that these meanings fade, because they were never real to begin with. When your happiness depends on external validation, you have handed over the key to your inner peace. Carl Jung wrote, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls." Maybe that is what consumerism is, a collective distraction from the emptiness inside. We buy to escape, we shop to silence the silence, because in that silence, we might meet ourselves. But here is the paradox. When you stop running from yourself, you stop needing so much from the world. That is where true wealth begins, not in accumulation, but in awareness. Imagine your life as a room. For years you have filled it with things, some beautiful, some broken, most forgotten. At some point there is no space left to breathe. Minimalism is not about throwing everything out. It is about opening the windows again, letting the light in, letting you in. When you detach from possessions, you begin to see how little you actually need. A simple meal can feel sacred. A quiet walk can heal more than luxury ever could. In psychology, there is a concept called hedonic adaptation. We quickly return to a baseline of happiness, no matter how much we gain or lose. That is why new things lose their magic so fast. The new phone, the new shoes, the new house, they excite us briefly, then fade into normalcy. And so we seek again, thinking the next upgrade will fix the emptiness. But happiness is not at the next destination. It is in learning to enjoy the walk. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." He ruled an empire yet spoke like a monk. The Japanese philosophy of wabi-sabi teaches us to find beauty in imperfection, to embrace the incomplete, the worn, the simple, in a cracked cup, in a faded photograph, in the passing of seasons. Consumerism tells us that beauty must be perfect, new, and replaceable. But real beauty is quiet. It whispers, it ages, it belongs to time, not trends. Philosopher Diogenes lived in a barrel. When Alexander the Great came to meet him and asked, "Is there anything I can do for you?" Diogenes simply replied, "Yes, stand out of my sunlight." He had nothing, and yet he was free. Freedom is not the ability to buy everything. It is the ability to need nothing. That is why frugality is not poverty. It is power. It is knowing that your happiness cannot be bought, so the world cannot control you. So how do we escape? Start small. Unsubscribe from what does not feed your soul. Turn off notifications. Clean your space. Make peace with stillness. Spend time, not money, on what makes you feel alive. Write, walk, talk, love, rediscover boredom. It is the doorway to creativity. And when you feel the urge to buy something new, ask yourself, do I really need it, or do I need a feeling? That simple question can change your life. Consumerism thrives on noise. Minimalism thrives on silence. Remember, you were not born to consume. You were born to create, to feel, to connect, to exist. You do not need more to be more. The less you chase, the more you see. Sometimes losing everything you thought you needed is how you finally find yourself. Take a breath. Look around. You already have enough. You already are enough. As Lao Tzu said, he who knows that enough is enough will always have enough. Maybe happiness was never about having more. Maybe it was about needing less.